Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Hallman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Hallman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we talk with Eric Osterhaus from Paragon Ag, and we get our quarterly grain report. And inside Kansas Ag, KDA talks to us about this year's Kansas Sampler Festival, and Kansas Wheat talks about the merits of wheat foods. And in news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association. We'll look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. An annual report that details the adoption of biotech crops shows the first decline of acres planted with GM seed in 20 years. The International Service for Acquisition of Agrobiotech Applications reported says acres planted to GM crops dropped a marginal 1% in 2015. Bill Horan, chairman of the Global Farmer Network, says drought in parts of Africa as well as lower commodity prices were contributing factors. In 1996, there were just 4.2 million acres of GM crops planted globally, and in 20 years, that number has increased 100-fold. An analysis of crop input prices for 2016 shows farmers are saving about $17 per acre compared to last year. Mike Pernier with Granular says that their analysis includes chemicals, fertilizer, and seed. Both chemicals and fertilizers dropped fairly significantly between 2015 and 16, a 9% drop on average across all chemicals, and an 8% drop on fertilizer. While Pernier expects downward trend in input prices to continue, he says unfortunately for farmers, it takes about 5 years on average for input prices to fully adjust to changes in crop prices. The House Agricultural Appropriations Subcommittee considered and approved its version of the fiscal year 2017 Agricultural Appropriations Bill. The spending bill would allocate $21.3 billion in discretionary spending, which is $451 million below the fiscal year 2016 enacted level and $281 million below the president's budget request. It does not include any specific provisions cutting Title I farm programs or crop insurance. However, the bill unfortunately contains cuts to several conservation programs. Specifically, the bill would cap the Conservation Stewardship Program at 8 million acres for the fiscal year 2017 enrollment. And in local news, U.S. Senator Pat Roberts, chairman of the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry, Thursday held a business meeting where the chairman's mark to reauthorize the Commodity Futures Trading Commission was favorably reported out of the committee on an 11-9 vote. The chairman's mark addresses many concerns of end users, including farmers and ranchers who use derivatives and future contracts to manage risk. This chairman's mark has the widespread support of state and national agricultural organizations and businesses. Kansas State University research have been evaluating cover crop management and options in water-limited environments and will discuss their findings at a cover crop field day on Friday, May 13th at K-State HB Ranch near Hayes. The day includes presentations by K-State faculty, growers, and government officials. The field day and tour starts at 10 a.m. at K-State's HB Ranch. A complimentary lunch is included. Attendees are asked to RSVP by May 6th to Melissa Alexander at 785-625-3425 or emailing milissa@ksu.edu. The only mandatory element of the Flint Hill Smoke Management Plan is a restriction on burning land, clearing debris, crop residue, construction materials, and yard waste during April in a 16-county area. Counties included in the ban are Butler, Chase, Cowley, Elk, Geary, Greenwood, Johnson, Lyon, Marion, Morris, Pottawatomie, Riley, Sedgwick, Wabaunsee, and Wyandotte. Burning prairie or grasslands in Conservation Reserve Program acres in this area is allowed during April. Those considering a burn should use smoke models on the ksfire.org website. Up next in our Ag feature, we talk with Eric Osterhaus from Paragon Ag, and we get our quarterly grain report. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by
Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com.
Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com.
Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're at Paragon Ag, and we're joined by Eric Osterhaus, and Eric joins us once a quarter. Basically, we get together and we kind of talk about, the quarterly stock reports and maybe what's going on in the grain market. Past 9 months, Eric, a lot of bullish news coming from everybody. We've maybe had a lot of grain in the world markets, but here in the last couple of weeks, we've had a little tick up. What's kind of going on?
Well, you look at a market, number one, for the last 8-9 months with beans and corn especially the wheat market being really the market that's been held down the most. But the news has been very one-sided. Everything is regarding the carryout stocks being one of the largest that we've seen in the last 10-12 years. Third largest in corn, third largest in beans. And so that's served really just to depress the markets for so long. And you've really had everybody on one side, and including the funds. You can't really underestimate the importance of that macroeconomic function and having the fund money coming in and out of the commodities. And unfortunately, they've been in, but they've been in on the short side. Starting about 6 weeks ago, actually, as an example with the soybeans, the funds were actually near a record net short position. And then in a short 6-week period, not only have they backed out of that short position, but they've also actually now gotten themselves into a long position. So again, you look at all the fundamental news and you kind of scratch your head, well, why in the world would they be doing that? Well, part of it is timing of the year. Both in corn and beans, it's a little early in the year to think that we're not going to have some issues. And let's be honest, this spring has been a little odd in regards to weather, between the dryness in some areas, the wind and the warmth. It does have some concerns out there, and it was just the wrong time to be that short. And so again, the funds backed out of the beans, and I think a lot of that has to deal with the effect of the dollar, the US dollar being at near the contract lows for the year. And of course, the common theme out there for traders is a low dollar good for commodities. So they had to find a commodity to choose, and it looked like the beans, in this case, it was the beans that got the first emphasis in the first run.
Well, not only that, and I hear you and Chris talk about this all the time, is taking the weather premium out of it. We had kind of taken that out early on, hadn't we?
True, yeah, we really had. And everybody was talking about acres early in the years. There's going to be a lot of acres. There is a prediction for a lot of acres. Now, in the quarterly, or pardon me, the planting intentions report, they did show an extremely large number for corn. That shocked the market. We, of course, moved dramatically lower. Beans actually got a little friendly number, seeing maybe a switch from some of those acres from beans into corn. But again, what was missing out on that is, again, just the seasonality of the weather. Certainly, we were a long time from having the seed in the ground and planted for corn and beans, let alone getting through that early growing season, see how the rains hit, see if they hit for that matter. So some of that weather uncertainty and that premium that we typically see in this year, just like every year, is being added back in.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about maybe world pressures on U.S. commodities. You're watching kansasAGreport. See you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Thanks for staying with us. We're at Paragon. We're joined by Eric Osterhaus. And Eric, again, thanks for joining us. We're here pretty much every quarter. And one of the things that you guys do, and I think it's a huge service to the area farmers, is you guys have a daily call that comes out and you kind of update everybody on the funds, what's going on, weather premiums, and all that other stuff. If someone wants that call, it's a little 2-minute call. It's nice. It's a nice update.
Yeah.
How do they get that call?
It's very simple. You just have to call in and let us know. Again, that audio call goes out every day around 2 to 3 o'clock, depending on the trading day. And again, it's not meant to just be a simple recap of the, corn was up 3 cents today. It was more what's been going on out in the markets, and again, some insights if we feel that people need to be doing something or something they should consider. More of the background as to maybe some of the technical things that are causing the markets to do things when fundamentals don't seem to make sense. And it's been probably one of our most popular services.
And people can call the 800 number and get signed up for that.
888-452-8751, and just tell us that you're interested in receiving that daily audio report, and we will get you on.
Perfect. Quarterly stocks, ending reports. Big news?
It was expected news.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. Again, everybody was expecting bigger carryouts on the quarterly report, and that's exactly what we got. A couple examples. Corn, we came in at 7.8 billion bushels. That was up again significantly from last year. Beans, 1.53. That was also up from 1.327 last year. Wheat really was a big increase, 1.37 billion bushels as opposed to 1.14. So across the board, generally, without boring with all the intimate details of the numbers, it was a bearish report. And so again, I think that's why you saw that reaction immediately, especially in the corn market. So.
World pressure. A headline today was Brazil possibly could have a vote on kicking out their president, and it kind of gave beans a little uptick. I mean, those things have an impact on the U.S. farmer.
They really do, and you can't really talk enough about the significance of South America anymore when it comes to the soybean complex itself. And again, the idea being that if they do choose to impeach their president, put somebody in there a little more business friendly, of course that is going to affect the value of their currency. The currency, the real, has been moving significantly higher compared to the dollar, which has been helping our soybean exports, making us look a little more attractive. That's the thoughts. And that's another reason why you've seen soybeans taking a nice move up here recently, even on the old crop stocks.
Perfect. Real quick, wheat, very warm spring, didn't get much winter. We may have some issues moving into the summer when we harvest. Real quick on that.
Yeah, the silver lining, if you want to call it that, is just that there is still the potential for a quality and quantity issue on wheat yet.
Thank you for watching Kansas Ag Report. You have made us the highest rated ag TV show in the state of Kansas, and we thank you. If you'd like to advertise your business on Kansas's most watched ag TV show, give us a call at 785-580-3287.
Kansas is full of amazing products and experiences, and one of the best places to learn about all of them is the Kansas Sampler Festival. I'm Julie Roller, and I work with the From the Land of Kansas program at the Kansas Department of Agriculture. From the Land of Kansas works to help businesses promote their Kansas products and also to help consumers identify Kansas agriculture-based items. This year, From the Land of Kansas will have a tent at the festival for visitors to sample or purchase products from great Kansas companies. Participating companies will include Fisher Rocks from Belleville, Hildebrand Farms Dairy from Junction City, Holmes Made Salsa from Wichita, Jams by Judy from Russell, Kansas Foods from Wilson, Prairie Harvest from Newton, and Salvi Sousa from Arkansas City. Throughout the festival, our From the Land of Kansas ambassador, Chef Allie, will be in the tent preparing tasty dishes featuring products from member companies. The Kansas Department of Agriculture is proud of these Kansas companies, and we are excited to support the economic growth these companies contribute to the Kansas agriculture industry and to celebrate Kansas at the festival. This year, the Kansas Sampler Festival will be at Island Park in Winfield on May 7th and 8th. The festival is a wonderful opportunity to sample everything there is to see, do, buy, taste, hear, and learn in the state of Kansas. For more information or to view a list of exhibitors, visit www.kansassamplerfestival.com.
Wheat has become an easy punching bag for fad diets and those who profit from them. This practice won't last long if the Wheat Foods Council has its way. The Wheat Foods Council has adopted a strategic plan to help inform consumers about the merits of wheat foods by influencing the influencers and telling the story of wheat. Wheat Foods Council President Tim O'Connor says that the main initiatives the new plan focuses on are building relationships with dietitians and personal trainers, as well as improving the images of enriched wheat products and modern breeding and farming practices. O'Connor pointed out that the Wheat Foods Council has been building a relationship with dietitians for years, and the next step is to reach out to personal trainers. He said when we are able to get more of them to understand that fad diets are just fads, and that there are very successful athletes who don't use those diets, we'll be able to demonstrate the success of those athletes with the backing of science. While it's exciting to help wheat find a voice in the gym, it's also important for wheat to have a seat at consumers' tables. O'Connor said, "We heard from the industry about working in the enriched wheat and the modern wheat breeding spaces. Those were industry voices telling us, these are our problems, that if you could move the needle on, it would be helpful to us." O'Connor says if we're not investing in the domestic marketplace, which is very mature and competitive, others with opposing messages are. The wheat industry can be pushed backward if we don't have a voice where others do.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Spring is sprung, and Premier Farm & Home has what you need to keep your yard crabgrass free throughout the season. With a complete line of pre-emergents, you can stop crabgrass before it starts. Premier Farm & Home, 900 Southwest University Boulevard, or find them on the web at heycow.com.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Spring is sprung, and Premier Farm & Home has what you need to keep your yard crabgrass free throughout the season. With a complete line of pre-emergents, you can stop crabgrass before it starts. Premier Farm & Home, 900 Southwest University Boulevard, or find them on the web at heycow.com.
Research conducted by University of California, Davis animal scientists shows the overwhelming consensus of existing data indicates genetically engineered feed is safe for animal consumption and does not result in animal products that are compositionally different than those produced by animals fed conventional crop varieties. The Cal Davis scientists found no studies had detected traces of genetically engineered material in meat, milk, or eggs from those animals. The research team suggested food animals consuming the current generation of genetically engineered crops consistently show no difference in performance or health compared to those fed non-GE grains. They estimated more than 100 billion animals in the U.S. consumed some level of genetically engineered feed between 2000 and 2011. If GE feed had detrimental effects on animal performance or health, they concluded it would have surfaced as a negative trend in the health of commercial livestock populations during that decade, which was not the case. Most of the sensational media reporting on the feed issue has been based on highly controversial studies claiming deleterious health effects in a small number of animals consuming genetically engineered feed. According to the Cal Davis research, assertions from these flawed studies are contradicted by hundreds of carefully designed animal feeding trials performed by independent scientists around the world.
Good morning. I'm Derek Hermish with Paragon Ag. An object at rest tends to stay at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. So says Newton's first law for those of you who remember your physics classes from high school. From March 1st to April 15th, we have witnessed roughly a $1 rally in the futures price of soybeans, whereas the 6-month time frame prior to that saw us move mostly in a sideways 50-cent range back and forth. A lot of this rally has been attributed to hedge funds pushing the market higher. There are some fundamental reasons for why the market has moved higher, but the magnitude of the rally for this early in the season may have to do with funds placing a wager that we will see a drought later this year. If you pay attention to long-range forecast or market predictions, you can't avoid the La Nina talk and drought potential talk for later this year. And certainly if a drought happens, the market price can and will go higher later on in the year. However, without that drought, soybean prices may hit their highs for the year before they've even had a chance to grow in the ground. Then we get to Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. It's a simple statement that is easy to understand from a common sense standpoint, but at the same time can be easy to lose sight of when big actions happen. So it may be a good time as a producer to ask yourself, what has your reaction been to the dollar rally we've seen in soybean price? I'm Derek Hermish. Have a good day.
Closed captioning brought to you by the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansasAGreport.org. Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.